Good afternoon. My name is Ambika, and the topic for my presentation is surveillance, diagnosis, treatment, and control of disease as per CPC-SEA. I'll start with CPC-SEA first about the introduction. The motto of prevention of cruelty to animals PCA Act 1960 was amended in 1982, which is to prevent infliction of unnecessary pain or suffering on animals. The central government has constituted a committee for the purpose of control and supervision of experiments on animals, which is CPCSA, which is duty bound to take all such measures as may be necessary to ensure that animals are not subjected to unnecessary pain or suffering before, after, or during the performance of experiments on them. For this purpose, the government has made breeding of control and experimentation on animals, control and supervision rules in 1998 as amended during 2001 and 2006, which is to regulate the experimentation on animals. And CPC-SEA guidelines has five basic principles. First one is justification of animal testing. So we have to justify whether we really require the animal life for our test. So we should give the records to the committee. Then only we are allotted to get the permission for the take using the animal for the experiment. Second one is reduction and replacement of animal testing. Third one is minimization of pain and suffering of animals. Fourth one is rehabilitation and euthanasia. And the final one is housing, handling, and veterinary care. If we talk about the surveillance, animal health surveillance system AHSS is an accessible and voluntary system providing a broad safety net for the earliest possible detection of animal health signals to veterinarians and processing industry, research institutes, and public health authorities. Three goals of animal health monitoring is vital for animal health and welfare, food safety, and it has three basic rules. First one is detection of outbreaks of unrecognized pathogens, detection of unknown diseases or pathogens, description of trends and developments in animal health. So, if we talk about how to conduct a surveillance, it is of four steps. First one is data collection, and second one is analysis, interpretation, and communication. If we talk about the data collection, the AHSS gathers signals from the field both reactively and proactively. Reactive gathering aims to detect signals from the field in the broad set possible sense, and it relies on the initiative to farmers or veterinarians or any lab technicians for sorry lab technicians for to visit the farms or any other parties to provide the information, and proactive instruments initiate the information with the general health department of animal. Information is derived from these instruments, provides insight into trends and new developments in the animal health. So this is how they conduct the surveillance, where the farmers or practitioners or veterinarians they take the signals proactively or reactively by using instruments like which feature like telephone consultations, farm visits, scientific publications, or in the form of news, or in the lab they usually do by necroscopy submissions, laboratory investigations, veterinary environment toxicology, or networks like veterinary monitoring poultry, online monitor of pigs, animal species network, and veterinary practices, etc. So here that is how the data collection is takes place, and next one is analysis. So the veterinarians usually discuss and analyze all signals and results together with other experts during the consultation. Third one is interpretation. So animal health surveillance usually makes quarterly or half yearly reports for each livestock sector, giving results and possible recommendations of future action. Next one is communication. So communication is really important because communication is really important because it helps with to check to periodically share the information with the government and industry, or farmers or veterinarians or human healthcare organization or neighboring countries. So this is how this is the cycle where the livestock the signals from the livestock is taken to the farmer, or if it is from the laboratory it is given to the person who checks the laboratory, and from there it goes to the animal health worker, and there it goes to the veterinarian, to the epidemiology unit, and next to the management strategies. If we talk about, after taking the signals from the instruments, we have to collect, analyze, and conclude. And the objectives are to outbreak detection of any diseases or epidemic that takes place on the animals. This is how the objectives of surveillance. Second one is detection of new phenomena, or to maintain an overview of trends and development. So this is the overall cycle where from the farmers, so the signals are taken, the analysis takes place, the signals takes place from the animal worker to the veterinary, and they collect the data, they conclude, and they maintain the overview of trends and developments by surveillance system. So all animals should be observed for signals of illness, injuring, or abnormal behavior by animal house staff. As a rule, this should occur daily, but before frequent observations must be warned, such as during post-operative recovery, or when animals are ill or have a physical defect, or it is imperative that appropriate methods be in place or disease surveillance diagnosis as per the Annexure 1 and 2. And it is very important to check the inspection report of animal health facility. As per the annexure, the details are written from time to time, starting from the details of animal species, number, sex, age, etc. And if we talk about the diagnosis, the first one is physical restraint, brief physical restraint of animals for examination, collection of samples, and a variety of other clinical and experimentation manipulations can be accomplished manually or with devices, but they have to be suitable in size and design for the specific animal, and should be operated properly to minimize stress and avoid injury to the animal. So it changes from animal to the animal and species to the species, but the important thing is it should not harm the animal during the diagnosis process, and the animal should not feel any trauma or stress during the process. So the latest molecular diagnostic technologies are more advantageous because they are more sensitive, less time consuming, and high throughput result. So other novel technologies such as polymerase chain reaction PCR, reverse transcriptase PCR, RT-PCR, real-time PCR, DNA probe, etc. provide a thorough understanding of accurate diagnosis and a discrimination of present and emerging diseases. And the next one is the basic ways how the diagnosis of animals or animal regular checkup takes place of every animal. First one is by checking the nutritional status. So animals can be fat, normal, or thin, but thin animals are not necessarily sick. So they could have recently taken for any test, etc. So but the sick animals tend to lose weight due to depressed appetite, poor feed digestion, or loss of body takes place. So the condition should be judged in relation to all the circumstances. Next one is walking and standing. The way the animal moves can indicate pain in the body, the result of any traumatic injury or infected hoof. So we have to usually do by scoring the animal on the locomotion. So locomotion score is important. The scoring the animal on ability, how it walks. So this can be judged uh, in relation to various circumstances and provide a good guide to lameness to any animal. Next one is urine. The urine test is compulsory because the urine usually for a healthy animal should be thin, yellow, or clear. Thick, thick or mucus or red urine is an indicator to ill health. Next one is digestion. If animals are healthy, they eat with good appetite. So fecus and urine are usually discharged regularly, with the fecus having normal consistency. When the digestion is disturbed, the animal appetite decreases and the fecus is discharged too fast or too slow. So animals are frequently healthy, usually are healthy, and they when they have the good digestion. The temperature varies from animal to animal, so animal temperature should be checked from time to time. Higher temperature should be recorded in sick animals with a fever, or in heat stressed animals. Blood circulation, which is again important. The pulse rate is a good guide for any animal health. So it should also be checked from time to time. Next one is examination of animals by microscopic examination. So these are all the records that should be tested from time to time, and they should, and these are the tests that should be taken place based on the annexure fecal examination for endoparasites is important. If check for any ectoparasites or parasites on blood smear examination, or tuberculin testing as per the animal, the date and the source of batch and the result of observation should be written. Chest x-ray should be taken place, and the date and report contents should also be written. Surveillance, diagnosis and treatment and control of disease. So here we have to observe for signals of illness, injury or abnormal behavior. Unexpected deaths and signs of illness should be reported. If any animals are known to be exposed to an infectious agent or group, should be kept intact and isolated during the process of diagnosis, treatment and control. So diagnostic clinical laboratory should be made available. And three ways where these are three ways for the treatment and control of disease, where the vaccines, nutrition and biosecurity should be taken. The vaccines are very important because they're the cornerstones of prevention with a great right support, and they should lead the eradication of diseases like rabies. Nutrition boosters immunity of mostly against the illness, not just in humans but also in animals too. So it is easier to fight a disease with tailored nutritional supplements. Next one is biosecurity, which stops the disease from entering the environment by limiting contact with bacteria from outside the farm. Prevention before the curing. So we have, these are the four steps. First one is keeping robust breeds and varieties adapted to the local climate and available food. Next one is hygiene, proper diet, sufficient and clean, proper appropriate shed systems, sufficient move, etc. Third one is alternative treatments like plant medicine, homeopathics and traditional methods. Fourth one is if nothing works, use chemical remedies like antibiotics. And next final one is a prevention of preventive methods for the animals. So managing the health, the and good record keeping both go hand in hand. Both are very important because it is the role of government to eradicate the epidemic diseases and to minimize the transmission of diseases from daily cattle to daily products. So it is very important. The role of the lab technicians is to encourage healthcare and eliminate diseases transmitted from animals. So the veterinarian should take proper care to emphasize continuing the checkup of animals, and also keeping their records, because we have to have all the records about the past records and past history of animals like birth rate, calving date or vaccination date, health problems, treatment, milk yield, feeding, etc. So these are very important, so that if for example I have mentioned to use treatments, if these don't work, then chemical remedies. So we have to keep all the records of how the treatment was before and what to do next. Next one is nursing and support. So providing the good nutrition to treated stock. Once the veterinarian has provided treatment, it is important to continue or nurse the stock. So it can be done by ensuring access water, shade and clean breeding, maintaining low stress environment with adequate housing, removing competition from other animals, removing parasites, or providing pain relief, and just cleaning and dressing any wounds, etc. Scores, which is again important. The state of manure indicates the animal health or diet. So scores for diarrhea, scores should be checked if any infectious agents like salmonella, in case of internal parasites, or acidosis or diarrhea may take place, or viral infections, or fever can also take place. So it should be checked from time to time. And next one is responsive drug handling. So responsive drug handling and administration is a key to successful animal health program. So drugs should be sourced from veterinarians or registered agriculture merchants, or any animal health housing units should be obtained. So they should be safe and effective. So we have to keep the records of how much was purchased and when, batch number and expiry date, and use a separate needle or it should be sterilized. Make sure the injection site is through an area of clean and dry skin. So when it is used, or it should be written like only for animal use, purchase date, etc. Those all should be and reusable equipment should be clean and sterile before and after use, etc. So these are the very important preventive measures. And I would like to conclude by saying that animal usually they show signs of contagious diseases. If they show, they should be isolated from healthy animals in the colony. If an entire room of animals is known or believed to be exposed to an infectious agent like mycobacterium tuberculosis, or the group should be kept intact and isolated during the process of diagnosis and treatment and control. So diagnostic clinic laboratory may be used available, and adequate veterinary care must be provided, and it is responsibility for a veterinarian or a person who is training or experience in laboratory. So daily observation of animals should be accomplished by someone other than veterinarian, or however mechanism of direct and frequent communication should be adapted so that and accurate information on problems of animal health, behavior and well-being is conveyed to the attending veterinarian. This is how we conduct the health programs, surveillance and health care, because that is very important for grouping of animals. And these are my references. Thank you.